horsepower, fire-breathing, mud-slinging, ground-pounding cars and stars of the American Late Model Series. And I tell you what, Farmer City Raceway, the biggest race here at the DeWitt County Fairgrounds, Farmer City Raceway, they're coming at you full wide.
All right, the smoke starts to blow off. We'll get them back 2 by 2 as the pace truck pulls to the infield, and we should be coming back to 1 to go. Indeed, we will be. "28 cars, lap traffic will happen in a hurry here tonight at Farmer City." Somebody's going to make this green off of turn number 4, and it's going to be Lanigan and Marlar. 74 laps tonight. The quarter-mile bull ring, we're underway. Marlar does not get a good start. Darrell Lanigan does. Lanigan to the lead. Bobby Pierce will jump to second. Now Lanigan on the high side will come after Bobby Pierce down the back straightaway. Marlar up into second. Pierce back to third. Babb in fourth. It's going to be Shirley in fifth. Lap number 1. Who's it going to go to? It's a drag race back to the line. Give it to Mike Marlar by a nose. Darrell Lanigan in second.
Bobby Pierce having big-time problems down on the bottom of the speedway. Shannon Babb and Brian Shirley going to go by. Good battle for the race lead. Darrell Lanigan going to dive to the inside. The Winfield Warrior. Mike Marlar going to take the race lead down the front straightaway. It'll be Mike Marlar, Darrell Lanigan, Brian Shirley, Shannon Babb, and Bobby Pierce, your top 5.
That bottom in 1 and 2, just rough enough. A lot of guys want no part of it. It's making the racetrack really widen out nicely. Meanwhile, lap number 3 on the board, and Mike Marlar leads the way. He's on the top side. Lanigan works as low as he can get without getting in the rough stuff down in 1 and 2. Meanwhile, here comes Shannon Babb up alongside of Brian Shirley. That's your battle for third as we complete lap number 4. It's a good one early tonight here at Farmer City.
70 to go now. 70 laps remain. 157 of Mike Marlar has taken the race lead, and Brian Shirley is spinning. Shannon Babb somehow kept it going, kept his momentum up. Bobby Pierce may have problems. He'll continue, but Brian Shirley got into the bottom of 1 and 2, got into some holes, and I don't know how Shannon Babb continued.
And right, looking good so far. Be up to Marlar to punch the throttle. He does. We're back underway. 70 laps remaining here tonight at Farmer City, and we're back underway.
Mike Marlar again will run to the high side. Shannon Babb going to the outside. Bobby Pierce now challenging Shannon Babb for that third spot. Babb going to throw a slider, maybe at Darrell Lanigan. Lanigan working right in the middle. Babb a step lower, looking to go 3 wide for the race lead. Off of 4. Good one shaping up here at Farmer City.
Marlar got a little sideways on the top through 3 and 4. He gets it back together, but Lanigan and Babb reeling him in, and here comes Shannon Babb. Last night it was on the top. Right now it's on the bottom, and Babb is coming in a hurry. 6 laps down, and Shannon Babb trying to get second away from Lanigan. Lanigan closes the door on him.
And one of the toughest customers to get around is the 14 of Darrell Lanigan. Lanigan again on nose back ahead. Babb trying to pull even with him. Lanigan now going to jump to the high side, leaving Babb alone on the bottom as they work off of turn number 4, side by side for the second spot. They're dead even. Good battle between Darrell Lanigan and Shannon Babb. Right behind your race leader, Mike Marlar. Then it's Bobby Pierce, Chase Young Hands, Billy Moyer, and Billy Moyer Jr.
The Moyers go at it for position number 6. Right in front of them, Chase Young Hands, the new Rocket race car, coming after the 32 of Bobby Pierce. Bobby Pierce again in a backup car. Meanwhile, now Shannon Babb to the inside of Darrell Lanigan. It is a hooked-up racetrack right now, and Shannon Babb up into second, Lanigan back to third.
Yeah, Shannon Babb off the launching pedal through a slider. Take second away from Darrell Lanigan. So put Shannon Babb into the second spot as he sets his sights on the 157 of Mike Marlar down the back straightaway. Again, Mike Marlar, Shannon Babb, Darrell Lanigan, your top 3. 4th will be Bobby Pierce. 5th will be Chase Young Hands, also in a brand new Rocket.
10 laps down now. 10 down, 64 laps to go. Marlar leads the way, and Jimmy Mars is going to slow up in turn number 4. Jimmy Mars slows. Will that draw the caution? He is still under power, or will we stay green? 11 laps complete. Looks like Mars may be able to make it off the racetrack.
Man, he's got it.
As Jimmy Mars is going to gas it up, and he will head to the pit area. Jimmy Mars' night is over. We stay green, and now only a half a straightaway from the back of the pack is your leader, Mike Marlar, and Shannon Babb is breathing down his neck. Heavy lap traffic for your leaders.
Heavy lap traffic. You got to start thinking about tire wear. You can see the track starting to really black slick. All through the middle of that speedway over there, 1 and 2. Babb going to pull the trigger for the race lead down the front straightaway. Here comes the Moequa missile. Mike Marlar continues to show the way, but the man all weekend, Shannon Babb, As lap traffic now as Austin Reddick pulls to the infield, Babb to the high side, Ryan Marlar, now he's going to make a pass for the lead down to the inside bin.
Heavy lap traffic. Marlar will drop off the cushion out of 2. Babb's right there with him. They're lapping cars wholesale. Working lap number 15. Bobby Pierce is catching both of your top 2 cars. Pierce up to 3rd, Lanigan back to 4th, Younghans in 5th. 15 laps down, 59 laps to go.
So we'll see if the Illinois boys can take down the Tennessee Invader here tonight. Babb and Pierce trying to run down Mikey Marlar. Babb jumps a cushion, so does Bobby Pierce. Marlar tiptoeing away from him on that high side. Babb will work down to the inside. Here comes Bobby Pierce. Marlar a good run off of 2 down the back straightaway. Continues to show the way. 5-car length lead as they work into 3 and off of 4. Mike Marlar continues to show the way.
Mike Marlar, your leader. Shannon Babb, very lucky. A couple of laps ago, banged off the wall hard down in turn number 4. I thought he might be done. He was able to save it, though. Right now, Mike Marlar has some breathing room. Shannon Babb 3 wide through lap traffic. Right behind him, it's Bobby Pierce in the 4th spot. Lanigan comes under fire from Chase Younghans, and the Moyers continue to go at it for the 6th position. Don O'Neill rides back in 8th.
Oh, and Shannon Babb for the race lead. Marlar going to inch away down the back straightaway. As Marlar working right in the middle of the speedway. Again, he pushes up off of 4. Here comes Babb again to the inside. Bobby Pierce to the outside. Bobby Pierce trying to get by the tennis. Scott Schmidt will make the pass. Man, Schmidt going to pass him back down the back straightaway. 3-car lengths. Mike Marlar to Shannon Babb. Babb going to blast the cushion bin. And Marlar down to the inside as they come down to the stripe. Marlar still holding the top spot.
Well, the track is nice and slick, but there's little bumps all over it, and it's throwing these guys for a loop. Shannon Babb maybe setting Marlar up for a pass for the lead. They head through 3 and 4, and caution will wave. It was just getting good. Oh, Billy Moyer Jr. will draw the caution, and Shannon Babb was licking his chops. He was looking for his move, trying to get to the lead. 20 laps complete, 54 laps there. That's right, only 20 laps complete. Dustin Jarrett from the infield.
Man.
It looks like it's set to go green out of turn number 4. Marlar back on the loud pedal. 20 down, 54 to go in the Farmer City, 54. And here comes Bobby Pierce. He's going to go to the high side as he goes work on Shannon Babb for 2nd. Mike Marlar now's got his hands full. Babb's to his inside. Here comes Bobby Pierce.
We got a race, Ben Shelton. Anytime Bobby Pierce, the butterfly go 3 wide. Chase Younghans down to the inside, but here comes Bobby Pierce. Babb Pierce in 32, 157 to Mike Marlar, 18 to Shannon Babb. 3-car breakout for the top spot. $20,000 on the line. A dandy setting up here at Farmer City on a Friday night down the front straightaway. Oh, my.
Yeah, things are heating up. The Tennessee driver's got a pair of Illinois guys behind him. Now he's got one beside him. We have a new leader down the back straightaway. Here comes Shannon Babb. Who's going to lead lap number 23? They work through turns 3 and 4. Babb on the hub, Marlar up top, and new leader Shannon Babb with 23 laps complete.
Leader Shannon Babb has found a nice line down to the inside. A lot of traction and not too many bumps. Mike Marlar trying to run him back down and get a spark and arc the high side over here in 3 and 4. As he works off of 4, Babb through the bumps. He'll still hold the lead, but here comes Mikey Marlar and Bobby Pierce.
Marlar going to drop it a little bit harder off into turns 1 and 2, but it's Babb, your leader by a car length down the back straightaway. Pearson 3rd, Younghans 4th, Don O'Neill now up into the top 5. Here comes the Indiana driver as it's getting treacherous off turn 4. They are flirting with disaster, Molly Hatchet style with that wall off turn number 4.
And Bobby Pierce now to the inside of Mike Marlar for the 2nd spot. Illinois ganging up on the 157. They're looking to go 3 wide for the race lead. Bobby Pierce to the inside of Mike Marlar, now to the inside of Shannon Babb. 3 cars going to duke it out for the top spot. Laps continue to wind down, but up front, whoever can find the fastest way around the Farmer City Raceway. No, Mike Marlar about to and allows Chase Younghans to gather him in. Bobby Pierce will look to the inside of Babb for the race lead. It's Babb, Pierce, Marlar, Younghans. Wow.
What a save by Marlar. I thought he was out of the ballpark there for a minute. He was in the Boom Briggs lineup in turn number 3. Meanwhile, it's going to be Pierce going to the cushion. Babb on the low side, 28 on the board off turn number 4. Shannon Babb, your leader. Here comes Bobby Pierce. Here comes Younghans. Here comes Marlar. We could have a 4-car shootout for the lead.
They're going to wage war for the top spot. 32, Bobby Pierce to the 18 of Shannon Babb. Babb going to work right in the middle of the speedway. Bobby Pierce on the patented high side as he brings it off of 4 down the front straightaway for the race lead. Pierce again will throw to the high side. Babb down to the bottom bin. Shelton, no, here he comes. Pierce down to the inside. Babb to the outside. We got a new race leader, Bobby Pierce. Babb looking to cross him back. Babb high. Pierce low for the race lead. Off 4, give it to 32.
30 laps in the books, and Pierce to the lead. Babb looks to his inside. They're both through the holes down to the bottom of 1 and 2 as they duke it out down the back straightaway. Marlar back up into third. Meanwhile, Pierce on the high side through 3 and 4. Babb's on the low side. Who's going to lead lap number 31? It's Pierce.
Entertaining battle here at the Farmer City Raceway. Shannon Babb and Bobby Pierce up front. Babb on 2 wheels, back to 4, back to 2, and back to 4. Kevin Weaver pull off to the speedway. Babb now going to follow Bobby Pierce on the bottom of the speedway, but Babb looking for the race lead off at turn number 4. Rocket Bob Pierce. Who's it going to be? Dead even.
Bobby Pierce by 0.02 of a second that time by Shannon Babb on the low side. Bobby Pierce up top. Who's going to lead lap number 33? Lap traffic wholesale in front of them as they come around to complete the 33rd lap. And Bobby Pierce will maintain the lead as Shannon Babb loses a little bit of ground.
Chase Younghands and Mike Marlar right behind them as it settles down a little bit for the race lead. Younghands now going to go to third. Mike Marlar back to fourth. But back up front, Babb to the inside. Pierce to the outside. Bobby Pierce, your new race leader. Shannon Babb second. Chase Younghands to third. Mike Marlar back to fourth.
Bobby Pierce works off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Pierce has got that 32 dialed in right now. He can put it wherever he wants to be, but he likes the high side. No big surprise there. Now with 35 laps complete in this one, Shannon Babb in second. Meanwhile, Chase Younghands a strong third place run going. Don O'Neill catching Mike Marlar for fourth as they work off of turn number 2.
Still long ways to go. 3 Rockets try to run down a Pierce race car down the front straightaway. Bobby Pierce continues to show the way. Shannon Babb running in the second spot. Third is Chase Younghands, and fourth is Mike Marlar as they're working all around the bottom of the speedway.
It'll be 37 on the board, halfway home off turn number 4 as Bobby Pierce will look to put a lap on John Henry in car number 15. Shannon Babb back in second. He's losing ground to your leader. And they head off into turns 3 and 4. Pierce will go back to the top side, flirts with that wall off turn, and number 4 has to cut it down as John Henry slid up in front of him. The bottom of 1 and 2 are extremely rough, but Pierce is making it look fast as he works off turn 2.
How long can that car hold up? And he about gets into John Henry. They make some contact on the back straightaway. Pierce marches on. Again, you go down to the bottom of 1 and 2. Like I said, Ben, it's fastest, but can everything hold up? All the parts and all the equipment. We are just about past halfway. Shannon Babb trying to track him down. Bobby Pierce continues to lead, but he's abusing that 32 in the process.
34 laps remain here tonight at Farmer City, and Bobby Pierce continues the lap cars at will as he goes to work on Chris Ferguson in car number 22. That's the next car. Ferguson rides in 17th. And now heavy lap traffic in front of your leaders. Can Shannon Babb take advantage of this? They're 2 and 3 wide in front of Bobby Pierce.
Again, down the back straightaway, about a straightaway advantage for the 32. Bobby Pierce going to go high, going to foul Chris Ferguson around that high side down the front straightaway. We'll see if it allows Shannon Babb to gather him in. And problems for Chris Ferguson as he's off turns 1 and 2. We'll see if it yields a caution. Right now we're going to stay green as Fergie continues. As he'll make his way back to the pit area, Bobby Pierce, Shannon Babb run 1-2. Chase Younghands a good third.
Well, Shannon Babb shaving just a little bit off Bobby Pierce's lead, but it's still about a second and a half as we work lap 44. 30 laps remain out of turn at number 4. 30 laps to go as they work off turn number 4.
30 laps remain. Scott Schmidt next on the hit list, and Tanner English. Tanner English, the recipient of the Dyer's Top Rods. And down the back straightaway, Bobby Pierce looking, they're too wide, too deep in front of him. So Bobby Pierce going to have to make a decision. Shannon Babb working the bottom. Bobby Pierce with the lap cars of Scott Schmidt. Tanner English now going to the bottom of Larson in 1. Oh, man, Tanner English. Bobby Pierce just carving right around the bottom. He's got a good hot rod right now.
He's got to be careful though as he works through lap traffic. Shannon Babb trying to reel him back in, and Pierce gets pinned down on the bottom. Shannon Babb making up some ground on your leader. Now about a second back. He shaved half a second off that lead. And right now Bobby Pierce has to deal with the fact that the cars in front of him are running exactly where he wants to be.
And he got to start thinking about tire wear as he slips up right behind the 10 of Scott Schmidt. Again, Babb trying to run him down. Bobby Pierce going to go back to the bottom, but that's where it's the most treacherous at. So Bobby Pierce, but here comes the Moequa missile. Shannon Babb down to the inside. Pierce will jump to the high side. Babb to the inside. The battle for the lead off turn number 4. Here comes Shannon Babb.
Shannon Babb back into the picture, but Bobby Pierce able to get around Scott Schmidt, and Schmidt was right in his line. That buys Pierce a little bit of time, but can Babb make the bottom work as Pierce heads to the cushion down in 3 and 4. It's slick to that very hard cushion. Here comes Shannon Babb on the bottom.
Bobby Pierce continues to show the way right behind the squirrel of Brian Shirley. Larson right there as well, 2 wide in front of your race leader. They got him pinned in. Babb can't take advantage. You got to wonder how much Hoosiers left on that 18. 3 wide with the lap cars down the front straightaway. Bobby Pierce. Babb just cannot quite get to him.
Well, he's going to have a chance here. Will Schmidt keep rolling? As Schmidt goes off the top of 1 and 2, Schmidt will keep rolling, will stay green. Here comes Shannon Babb. Pierce goes to the cushion, and it's going to be Babb on the low side. Now Pierce is going to have some breathing room with 51 laps complete, 23 to go.
23 to go. Bobby Pierce got 2 lap cars between him and Shannon Babb down the back straightaway. Larson going to pull ahead of Bobby Pierce, so it allows Shannon Babb, but now Babb going to jump to the high side and follow the 32 of Bobby Pierce. Laps continue to wind down. Bobby Pierce and Shannon Babb battle for the race lead here in the Farmer City 74.
You know, it's funny, if you watch some of the guys on the bottom of 1 and 2, they're not bouncing as much as others. Bobby Pierce last time by, that car was very stable, a very fine line on running the bottom. But now look, Pierce has gone to the bottom, Babb has gone to the top. Shannon Babb throwing caution to the wind, trying to reel in the 32 of Pierce now as they work lap 54.
Pierce trying to pull even with Jason Fager down the back straightaway. Babb's throwing all caution to the wind. Going to go up that high side. That's the battle as he works through lap traffic. Now going to go back to the bottom. So Pierce shows the way. Two lap cars, Fager and Larson in between him. And second running, Shannon Babb. Again, Pierce to the inside of Jason Fager, put him a lap down. And he puts the 61 of Caleb Ashley a lap down. Pierce in command here tonight.
And now Mike Marlar back around Chase Younghans. Good battle for that third spot. Marlar takes it back away from Younghans. Younghans works to his inside. So good battle for position. At number 3, back in the 5th spot, it's Don O'Neill, then Heckenus Jr., Billy Moyer, Dennis Erb Jr., Lanigan, Timothy Culp. That's your top 10 as we now have close in on the closing laps of this one. 18 laps to go, Mike.
17 to go this time by. Bobby Pierce working the high side as he works off of, now he gets in behind Kent Robinson and drives down to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Bobby Pierce continues to show the way. 3, almost 4 lap cars in between him and second running Shannon Babb. A long green flag run. 16 to go. Bobby Pierce continues to lead.
Only 10 cars on the lead lap. Timothy Culp, the last car on the lead lap. He rides in 10th. That's not going to last for much longer as Bobby Pierce closes in on him. And Pierce is driving away from Babb. A 3-second advantage now as they work off turn number 4. 15 laps to go.
15 laps to go. Shannon Babb having problems getting by Larson in the B1. Bobby Pierce just flat muscling up on the 32. As he continues, laps winding down, 14 to go. As Bobby Pierce putting on a clinic right now, the Farmer City 74, $20,000 on the line. Down the backstretch, Bobby Pierce continues to lead.
Good battle. Chase Younghans takes third back away from Marlar. They're trading that spot about every other lap. And now Chase Younghans up into third, Mike Marlar fourth, Don O'Neill in fifth. As we get down into the closing laps of this one, 61 laps on the board.
Bobby Pierce now looking to put a lap on Daryl Lanigan. I believe Lanigan starting up front here tonight. He was your pole sitter. Bobby Pierce looking to put a lap on him as Shannon Babb trying to put a lap on the couple of cars in front of him. And Bobby Pierce got a battle with Daryl Lanigan down the front straightaway. Gets a bit crossed up again. He's got to be careful as he works down into turns 1 and 2. Not to get the car too upset, but he put a Lanigan a lap down now.
Well, Lanigan rides in the 9th spot, and now he's a lap down, so we've got 8 cars still on the lead lap. The last one being Dennis Erb Jr. Laps ticking away as we now have 10 laps to go. 10 more times around Farmer City Raceway for Bobby Pierce.
Down the back straightaway, the 32, the smooth operator. He'll come down with 9 to go this time by. Mikey Marlar runs in third. Chase Younghans fourth. And running in that 5th spot is the 5 Don O'Neill. Pierce exiting 2, down the back straightaway. Shannon Babb just getting into turn 2 now. Straightaway advantage for the smooth operator. Laps continue to wind down. Bobby Pierce, an all-out assault on the field here tonight at Farmer City.
He's got 5 wins on the year. He won at Davenport Speedway last week with the Lucas Oil MLRA for his 5th win of the year. He had 25 wins last year, but a lot of those came from June on once the Summer Nationals kicked in. And right now, Bobby Pierce trying to pick up $20,000 in the month of May with a lot of big paydays still in front of him as he goes to work on Dennis Erb Jr., who rides in 8th to put him down a lap. Shannon Babb now 5 seconds back in second. Pierce has driven away from him so far tonight.
And the story last night, Bobby Pierce getting into that guardrails. He's got to work on Dennis Erb here in lap traffic. and he went to a backup car today. And I tell you what, he is flat smoking them here tonight in the feature event. It comes down 5 to go. Ben Shelton, 5 laps to go for the smooth operator.
5 laps to go, and the thing I notice about him is he's going to put 2 cars down a lap, it looks like, down the back straightaway. He can put that car wherever he needs it, the top, the bottom. It handles masterfully as he comes around with 4 laps to go. Thinks about making it 3 wide through lap traffic. He doesn't want to push it too hard. He's got a 5-second lead.
No kidding. Now that Billy Moyer, Dennis Erb, a couple of Hall of Famers he used to race with his dad right in front of him. He says, come on, guys, I got a race to win. Get out the way, but they are not. Dennis Erb, Billy Moyer holding him back. And 3 to go now. Bobby Pierce continues to lead.
Bobby Pierce will clear Billy Moyer finally out of turn number 2. He'll go to work on Dennis Erb Jr. He's going to have 2 more times around the speedway out of turn number 4. Shannon Babb 5 seconds back in second. Mike Marlar in third. Young Hands in fourth. O'Neill in fifth. 6 is Heckeness, Erb, Moyer, Lanigan, and Robinson. That's the way they run as Bobby Pierce comes off into turns 3 and 4. A daring move on Dennis Erb Jr. The white flag in the air. Earlier tonight, the modified feature. It was won by an 18-year-old from the state of Illinois. $20,000 on the line for the super late models down the back straightaway, and it's going to go to the 20-year-old out of Oakwood, Illinois, the winner, the inaugural Farmer City 74. It's going to be the smooth operator, Bobby Pierce. Coming home in second, it'll be Shannon Babb, a distant second, roughly 5 seconds back. Third, it's going to go to Mike Marlar. And fourth will be Chase Young Hance. Fifth, Frank Heckeness Jr. through the field. O'Neill sixth, Erb seventh, Moyer eighth, Lanigan ninth, Kent Robinson in 10th. It's official, race fans. Your winner tonight is going to be Bobby Pierce.
Well, his name is going to go down in the history books as the winner of the inaugural Farmer City 74. Let him hear you, ladies and gentlemen, the smooth operator, Bobby Pierce. And he gets the trophy presented to him down here in Victory Lane. Bobby Pierce, $20,000, Richard, and you're wiping some sweat off. You had to be up on the wheel for that race, didn't you?
Yeah, I need to go to Don Hammer's gym. But, yeah, man, I don't know what Erb was doing there. Like, I'm the leader, but oh well. He always does that. I don't know what happened. But, hey, we got the win, so screw it. Man, I got to thank my dad for the car, and Bill from Pro Power, Corey from Advanced Suspension. Those guys all worked so hard, and all my crew, Dan from New Zealand, my sister Sierra, my mom, my Uncle Will, Aunt Amanda, girlfriend Maddie, Mel, they're all here tonight. And everyone watching back home, hope it was a fun race. I was wore out in that car. I didn't want to caution because I knew I had a good lead, but, you know, like I said, I need to go to Don Harris' gym.
You had a good race throughout the first, or a good battle throughout the first half of the race. You and Shannon and Marlar in there as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You know, we were all racing each other really clean, and heck, we were all side by side right there. And it looked to me like Babb had on 20s because he wasn't really warming them up, and I think they really faded bad if he did. So, you know, 74 lapper. I'm kind of surprised those guys went on 20s, 20 if they did, but yeah, it was a fun race. The track was great tonight. You know, it had a bottom and a top, and normally whenever I'm good here on the top, I can never run the bottom, but the car was really good tonight, and I could really maneuver around, and it got kind of hard there at the end. I think my left rear was really smoking off, so I was hanging on those last 20 laps, but
you were able to find a line, it seemed like, on the bottom of the racetrack where some other guys were kind of wheel hopping through the corners. You were able to keep your car a little smoother, it seemed like, especially in 1 and 2, than maybe some of the other guys were.
Yeah, I tried to miss the ruts down there, and, as a driver, you don't like to see the ruts, but also as a driver, you like to see them because it adds, like, character to the track, and, one guy will mess up one lap, and then the next lap he'll hit it right on. You can dig that right rear in those ruts and kind of get a bite, so if you hit it wrong, you might break something, but if you hit it right, you'll have a really fast lap, so it's kind of cool.
What's it mean to you to win the inaugural Farmer City 74, a track so close to home?
Oh, that's awesome. I got a lot of friends here, so many people that support us, and I mean, heck, as a racer, that's all you can ask for is people to support you, so that's what it's all about, and big thanks for the fans coming out and watching, and big thanks to all these sponsors on this thing, Allgaier Incorporated, Hoker Trucking, Premier Waste, Advanced Shocks, Pro Power, Advanced, I can't remember, but there's so many on this car. Heck, actually, if you look at my Instagram, I'm doing like a shout-out every day, and my Facebook, so just check it out.
Congratulations, bud.
And Alexander's Concession, they came on for this race, too, so got to thank everybody, Champion Spark Plugs, and thanks.
$20,000 richer. Bobby Pierce is the winner of the inaugural Farmer City 74.
Well, thank you very much, Dustin Jarrett. Congrats to Bobby Pierce. 6 wins on the year. He made history tonight, Mike Norris. He picks up $20,000. Big night as well for Jeffrey Ledford. He picked up $5,000. Again, an 18 and a 20-year-old taking the big money here at Farmer City. The future of the sport looking very bright.
I tell you what, we talked about it all weekend long. The youth gone wild, and that is awesome. Great, those the youngsters. I tell you what, he went from the bottom last night. It's a roller coaster.
It
as
is.
I said, he if you would have went and talked to him last night, as upset as Bob, Angie, Bobby, his girlfriend, as upset as all they were to come back and take a backup car and win this race, it just goes to show you, if you never give up, anything can happen. $20,000, the inaugural Farmer City 74 gets the job done.